Hello guys, welcome to another Member Mobile series. And the album I'm going to be using to for this entire memo is Twice As Tall by Burna Boy, which was produced in 2020, if I'm correct. So the first track on my list here will be Level Up by Ebe Odoma. So Ebe Odoma is a mobile photographer, and he does mobile phone editing. You get, so I think in 2020, should be in 2021. It should be in 2021. That was the first time like I was interested in like getting a course. And I think Abel was doing like this course for mobile editing, because I've been taking pictures the previous year, which was I think in 2020. And I was just looking at it like, my picture needs to sort of level up. And I probably felt it was probably like the editing like workflow. So I got Abel's Dumas course. I think it was less than $5 then. Yeah. Even as much as it was less than $5. um SMO paid for it, so I took the course. I still have the course. So even in case you are looking for your course, I still have the full stuff. So he taught us like how to compose, how to shoot. But I was much more interested in the editing because that was what got me interested. So that was the first time I learned how to do frequency separation on your phone. So frequency separation you get like you can do in advanced software like Photoshop. You could actually do it on your mobile phone. There's a workaround around it. So I would say for the entirety of my level up story, it is focused around Abel Doma. So you can still check Abel. He's on Facebook. Once you put in Abel Doma, it should be the first person that pops up. So the next track on my list here would be um Alarm Clock. So for Alarm Clock for me would be this now would be around I will still go back to my secondary school days. I wouldn't necessarily say we use the alarm clock per se, because there were no phones. So unless you wanted to carry traditional alarms, or you maybe had like a G-Shock where you set your alarms, you pretty would get woken up by seniors who want you to go for morning devotion. So they were like your own alarm clocks. You get. So during my secondary school time, devotion was there. I think the trauma of like the banging of the door um for you to go to devotion still stopped with me up until I got into SS3. It was when I was in SS3 that if you bang on the door, like for the first time I would want to rush out like a junior student, but after you realize that we're the ones in charge now, you just like, relax, play cool, sleep. Anytime the porter wants to come and lock the door, you should come and lock the door. You know, that entire liberty. So my alarm clock story is centered around primary, my secondary school, half year. So that's pretty much it. But I think in when I was in the north, my junior secondary school, uh I used alarm clocks, but it was not like every day, because I was somebody who would wake up early, take my bath, go to classes, on time and stuff like that. So the next track on my list is Way Too Big. So Way Too Big for me would be I will center it on my ideas. I just feel like God gave me the gift of ideation. Like people will say, "Oh, I know how to sing, I know how to do this, I know how to do that." Mine is ideation. Like I can think, like I can stretch with ideas. Execution is something I had to like learn as a skill. Do X, do Y, do Z. Be able to get the results. So ideation for me, I would say, is like my own superpower. You get, but um with this track way too big, I would say Like my mind, like that's where like I'm picturing where the world will be, in 2049. You know, I'm looking at a world where um the like global finance now is now like is token economies that are everywhere. Blockchain is the order of the day. There's a whole lot of gamified living, type of stuff. There are prediction markets. Prediction markets will be normalcy because like living in itself will be gamified. So let me give you a use case. If you have ever watched like Free Guy, like the one the guy Ryan Reynolds. I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. Let my evil tongue don't mess him up. The guy that acted Deadpool. He was the lead character in the Free Guy. So Free Guy is sort of this like is like a two-world environment where you can get into the game. Like the real life is augmented. Um, the game is augmented in real life, so you are actually anything you're doing in the game like affects what happens in real life. So that's where I'm seeing like the world is going to be. Like where um the concept of the metaverse. So in 2022 was the year I had to do like an extensive research on what the metaverse will actually look like. That was when I like came across virtual reality, augmented reality, and extended reality for the first time in 2022. So I feel like the metaverse is going to be ruled by companies who are ready to play the long term game of building wearables, understanding what's the name RTK. So RTK is real time. Is some is the RT there means real time. I don't know what the K stands for, but like real time technology where, for instance, that your house in the village can be like it can be a digital twin. you know it can be in like a gaming environment. There can be like the normalcy of living would be like role playing, where everybody is sort of a game character in a national story. So it's not so economies that time will be run by solely like tokens. Every activity you do is incentivized. You go to purchase, your receipts, your trash, you can return them to collection centers, you earn, you know. But I'm not going to do like a deep dive. If you want to get what's the name? You want to get a scope of where I think the world is going to be and how I'm like trying to like position myself and my nuclear family to get there. You can hit me on like on WhatsApp. You can schedule a Google Meet. We'll have an extended conversation. So if you intend to put your nuclear family on the blockchain, I will show you the process of how to do that. By 2027, my family should be on the blockchain, you know. So the next track on my list will be Bebo. Hmm. So Bebo for me, I don't even know what a Bebo story is or the context of why Bona sang Bebo, but I know like the reading will be like the jungle to go. You know. So I necessarily don't have anything to say on Bebo. So on to the next track, which is wonderful. So wonderful for me will be which story am I going to center this now around? So I would say um, going to Lagos in 2022 was like a wonderful experience for me. I've said this in I think in made in Lagos memoir, where I talked about for this project. The entire I think like 2022 was one of my favorite years where I would say like I did much. you know I showed up like at places I needed to be. I learned a lot. Like I pushed myself to actually want to learn. And in the later years, like I picked up like execution. And my entire experience in Lagos was fun, coupled with the people I stayed with, people I got to meet, people I interacted with, the environment generally. But I think if Nigeria is going to, scale or like get to that place we all like have in our heads, we have to think outside those commercial like hubs, everybody's like moving to Lagos. Lagos is where everything is happening. But really, really, is Lagos where everything is happening, or people don't just want to take risk in other locations? Those are the questions we are not asking. Do you get? So my wonderful story is 2022 and that. So the next track on my list is Onyeka. So mm, my own name is Onyeka Chukwu. But um, I don't think the Onyeka memoir is. I want somehow myself. I want to talk about, Onyeka Onwenu. I've seen her like um give like interviews about, what happened in Port Harcourt with the Biafran War and stuff like that. And, she had an amazing career. Mm, I watched her in half of Yellow Sun. And I watched her in the Obaram. She played like good roles. So I'm dedicating this particular track to Onyeka Onwenu. Yeah. So the next track on my list would be Naughty by Nature, Fit William. uh, so Naughty by Nature will be just like some people like I've probably like maybe like interacted with. They'll be like, Williams, you're silly, or you're naughty, or your mind is bad. You need to purify your mind and stuff like that. It's not like I say like vulgar things, but I just found a way to like make you know jokes that even if I don't say the words, you get the point. But the thing is, people will always want to like crucify you, like, or label you. Oh, this person thinks that the fact I said it and you got it, we are on the same level. Oh. Don't think like you are said to be or something. We are on the same level. Because I've had I've been in situations where, you know, uh maybe I'm in the room with somebody that's very, very religious, and I say certain things, and they laugh to the jokes, but at the same time they still want to criticize me for the jokes that they have laughed to. So you're saying this person is bad, but somehow you found your way to understand what they are saying. Nigga. You have to purify your mind too. So that's just what I want to say on Naughty by Nature. The next track on my list will be Comma. In as much as me and Brother Boy knows that the comma song has nothing to do with the actual punctuation comma, but this particular track, I will just probably talk about, you know everything we have experienced. Everybody has experienced like during exams, all those times you will be like, please can you help me spell is, or you have problem with also. There are certain words in the exam hall like this that they will just go out of your head like this, and you'll be wondering, I know this thing, but like your engine is not kickstarting, or you're like blank blank. So I think that's the only thing I'll reference to comma. So the next track on my list would be No Fit Vex. So for No Fit Vex, I would say, who I'm not somebody like who is easily triggered by things, because like the trajectory of my life, I've been in places where you have to succumb to whatever that environment provides. I've had different interactions with people, and I know like how people sort of behave. And for me, I would say if you want to keep your sanity in check, you have to understand when you know you react to things. It's like being not being easily angered doesn't mean like you don't get angry, but like your actions or like the way you react to it, I mean, oh, is this person like this or is this person like that? So for me, I would say over the years, what I've done is to just, like take a little step backward, look at, oh, is this a really worth it, like in terms of reacting or like taking a next step, because the thing with anger is when you're angry like this, you're not like you're not looking at the consequences of whatever action you're going to take. You will damn all the consequences, but like later when you begin to reflect, you'll be like, I really messed up. So like I've trained myself in such a way that I will not I will not get angered. There are better ways to sort of resolve things and be at peace with your own self as well as whoever you're interacting. So the next track on my list will be 23. Now, I don't know. I don't know what I actually the story I want to actually give with this 23, but I don't know if I'm to base it as 23 as in 2023 or 23 as um when I turned 23. But any which way, 2023 was uh was if 2022 was the fun year, 2023 was the opposite of that because a whole lot of things like transpired in 2023. You know, I got I got what's the name? I got a device I was using as of the time. I was using through like a prepaid plan, Abi, an instrumental payment plan or something like that. It was a in partnership with one company and MTN. So I got my device. And at that point, this was when I just got back from ASU strike, and I had this like I had this like thought in my head, that I needed to start um making money like online. So like I was pressured into looking for, okay, how can you actually make money online and stuff like that. I had people who were doing affiliate marketing, but I already understood what the business model looked like, and I knew that it wasn't about like the way they were approaching affiliate marketing and promoting wasn't actually what it was, because I think it was a closed loop system where people you're supposed to buy a course. The course teaches you how to use a platform where you have to like sell courses and stuff like that. And it was something that I've already looked at, and I saw that there's no actual stuff that it's here. It's just like a loop system where everybody just uses the same blueprint. You buy the course, you learn how to do this thing, you start running ads, people buy the course you're selling, you earn a commission on that and stuff like that. Then that was the same year. 2023 was the same year I was introduced into what's the name. I started sports betting, which almost which almost ruined me. But I survived anyways. So um I started sports betting in 2023. When I say it affected me, I would say it affected me, but it took a toll on the relationship I was in at the time because my partner was not in support of it, and sort of like shook the foundation of the relationship, and I wouldn't say maybe it contributed or constituted to what happened afterwards, but I knew that he had a hand in whatever happened. So the next track on my list will be Time Flies Fit Ochanja. Hmm, my one and only dear Ochanja.